Hi guys! Can you believe it has already been a week since I had my braces put on? I had my braces put on last Wednesday on February 22nd and some changes have been happening. So if you don't mind me, I have some notes. So I am going to be looking down a little bit and kind of recapping my week because I've had some good days and I've also had some bad days. But today has actually been a pretty decent day and it's getting better as the day goes on. As the days go on, I'll say. I had a comment on my last video. Somebody was wanting me to do a more close-up so that you guys could see my teeth and everything. I will say that I apologize in my last video. I didn't do that. I actually meant to include some pictures before without the braces and stuff, and I ended up forgetting. So when I edited it, they weren't in there, but I will include those pictures and images in this video along with any change that you might be able to tell. So starting with day one, I did not realize that my teeth were so sensitive and tender and sore until I decided to take a bite into a biscuit, and it wasn't a hard biscuit, it was, breakfast biscuit. And when I did, I got this sharp sensation in this tooth right here that's turned a little bit, right here. And it was such a sharp sensation, it shot up into the root, and I squealed. As soon as I did it, my husband was standing beside me and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, man, I just got a really sharp pain there. I did not expect that. I really did not see it coming. I didn't think that braces, I was gonna have, teeth sensitivity that bad. I just figured I'd have the pressure from the braces being on, and everything being tightened. But no, your teeth actually become quite a bit sensitive. I believe that this tooth bothered me and none of my other ones did. It was just this one here. I think that may have been the one that was bothering me and was more sensitive because it is more crooked and it's one that is actually being pulled, to straighten out, because my other ones aren't as bad. Really, these are the only two that are crooked. These here have a little bit of crookedness. They kind of go at a little bit of a point there, but I will say that I can actually see a difference since a week ago when my braces were put on, but I'll get into more detail about that here in just a minute. Later that evening around 5, the orthodontist assistant had called me. She was the one that helped apply the brackets and everything in the wires. She had called me that evening just to check on me and see how I was going since I had my braces applied. And I explained to her, that everything was going great. I feel great. Haven't taken, any Advil or ibuprofen for pain or anything. I said I can, I have a little bit of tenderness, and I explained to her how, I had that sensitivity pain that shot up into the root. And she explained to me that you have a lot of nerves in there, and they're very sensitive, and my teeth are adjusting to something new being put in my mouth. So they're a little bit aggravated right now, and she explained to me that that will subside in a few days. And actually for me, it's taken about a week. So today has been a good day, like I said in the beginning of this video. I have only had to take Tylenol a few times, and that's always been at night, and I usually take it right before I eat my dinner because usually in the evenings that's when my teeth were starting to bother me more. So before I ate dinner, so that I could comfortably eat without any kind of discomfort, I would take a couple Tylenol before I ate, and it actually helped me sleep through the night as well, because the first night I would wake up and I could just feel the pulling, and I think if I hadn't taken the Tylenol, I probably would have had a little bit of achiness in there as well. By day 2, things were starting to feel a lot more sore. My teeth were definitely more sensitive than, the previous day. And my husband and I went out to go furniture window shopping, and we had been standing outside for about 5 minutes outside Ashley Furniture before they opened up their doors. And it was chilly that day, and my silly self decided I was gonna wear shorts, and I didn't have a jacket on. And we were standing outside and I was freezing because it was warm when we first left, but then it started cooling down as that time, got near. So I was standing outside and I was shivering and freezing, and when you get cold and your teeth chatter and you're like, well, yeah. That was very painful. So I literally stood there until they opened their doors with 2 fingers like this. So my teeth would not cling and chatter and hit each other because it was painful when that happened. I felt so silly doing that, but it was the only thing that was keeping my teeth from hitting each other. But yeah, that was definitely quite an experience, and it felt unbearable, especially by that second day. I will say I didn't listen when they told me softer foods would be ideal for the first few days after you get your braces on. I went straight to pizza and salads and chips and things that I probably shouldn't have, and I basically tried to force things down like that because nothing else sounded good. Nothing soft like mashed potatoes or soup or anything. It just didn't sound filling. So I basically forced some foods down that I probably could have held off eating, but I kind of like, I have a high tolerance for pain, so I like chewed through the pain. I felt like the more I chewed, the less I felt the pain. Cleaning my teeth, I knew brushing wasn't gonna be a problem, but it's after you eat that, oh my gosh, like the first night, I decided I was gonna eat ramen noodles, and they were soft, but the only thing is the noodles got hung up in my wires, so I looked like I had worms hanging out of my teeth. And the main spot that the food loves to cake up on in your braces is right back there where your hooks are. Let me do a close up so you can see. Right in here. So the noodles were like hanging over my hooks. So that was quite a thing, having to get up in there and pull the noodles out and then go to the bathroom and brush, and you would think I would have had all the food out of my teeth, but no, I kept brushing and more food kept coming out. I'm like, where's this food storing itself? So yeah, you have to be very thorough when you clean your teeth because the food will find any little crevice in there to settle. Flossing, oh my gosh. So now what used to take me like, I don't know, 30 to 60 seconds to floss now takes me about a good 5 minutes. And that's just for the top. As you can see, I only have the top. I do not have the bottom yet. I go back on April 5th to get my bottom on, and then they'll do the tightening on the top. So I still got like 5 weeks left for that, you guys. But flossing, I figured, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought, you know, I'm gonna be able to go in and just floss and it's not gonna bother me. But as soon as I took my floss and I was trying to get in there, of course I got the floss threaders, which have been a super big help. I could not floss my teeth without those. The floss that I have, it was the wax kind, and that stuff shreds and it tears apart and it gets hung in your teeth, and with everything being pulled so tight, my teeth aren't as easily to get flossed through, especially the wax kind. So the next day I went to Kroger, you know, did my grocery shopping, and I thought I'm gonna try to find some of that floss that's the satin kind because it's not gonna shred. It's like plastic. So I found this, and this here is the Oral-B Glide Pro Health, and it is the floss or the satin kind, and it's got a nice cool mint flavor. But this here, it's not. It's I don't know if you guys can see, but yeah, there you go. It is just the floss kind. It's not, you know, the wax kind where it's gonna shred in your mouth. It's been much easier to use, so this is something that I have to stick with from now on because the other stuff just ain't gonna work. Yeah, it was hard getting in there those first couple days trying to floss because my teeth were sore. So trying to pry something in between my teeth with some floss that was shredding and pulling and causing me more pain than it was any good, I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait until I get my other floss and then I'll mess with it. Well, luckily by like, I don't know, maybe the 4th day, I was able to floss with no problems using this new floss. On top of that, when you get food stuck in your teeth, it's not just a toothbrush and floss you need to get it out. You gotta get in between your brackets here. So I've been using this here, which is like a little Christmas tree, looks like a pipe cleaner, and getting up in there, and I go across the top because food hides everywhere in those brackets. Even though this will move things out, well, once I get this up in there, I gotta pull it back down to get it out of my mouth. So when I push the food up and I'm taking this back out, the food's going right back into the same place I just pushed it out of. So I have to go in with this end and I'm able to, you know, work it out. So this has been a big help. These 2 babies right here. So by day 3, I noticed that the inside of my cheek, at the top, up here, towards the back, was feeling a little sensitive. So I took my tongue and I felt up there and I was like, oh great, I'm getting a sore, just what they were talking about. So on my very last bracket, that one up there, there's a hook and it's been rubbing against the inside of my cheek and it has caused a sore. So I have been having to use my wax, so I just roll it up in a little ball and I just press it on there, and then of course I'll take it off before I brush and eat. But it has helped. My sore is now gone, so I am not dealing with that no more. I think my cheeks have toughened up to the braces pretty well because I have not been having any sensitivity along my cheeks at all. That one spot was the only area. I haven't had anything on this side bother me. I'm getting more used to my braces being in my mouth as far as the top ones go. They don't feel like they're protruding out of my mouth as bad as they were the day I had them put on. When I first got my braces on, it felt like the brackets were like, you know, like over my lip like this. But now they don't. They feel like, I don't know, I guess I've just gotten used to them. So anyways, on the first day around 5 o'clock that evening, I also noticed that my teeth were feeling looser, like they felt like I could wiggle them. And now they still feel that way a little bit, but not as bad. I feel like my front ones, I woke up one morning and I was like, wow, are my braces even working anymore? Because my front teeth right here, where I was feeling a lot of the tightening in the beginning, has now dissipated and it don't feel as tight. And now all my tightness is right in here, especially on this side, right here. Not so much on this side, and I'm wondering if it could be because maybe the direction my teeth are being pulled in, or if it could be because I have a crown on this side, so the tooth that is in, the crown that is in replace of my tooth isn't as dense, so that's why I'm feeling more pressure on this side than I would on this side. That's the only thing I can really think of. Okay guys, so let's talk candy. I have a sweet tooth, and I like to have my candy. However, I tried eating some candy that I probably shouldn't have, which was licorice, and it just wasn't happening. This was like the second or third day after I had my braces on, and it hurt to bite down on it. Obviously, I shouldn't even be eating stuff like that because it can get, you know, dunked up in my brackets and it could pull and break a bracket off. But I was being very careful about it, you know. But I tried it and it just didn't work out for me, so I gave all of those to my daughter. But I got the softer ones, but they just weren't doing me any good. So I ended up going to the store to pick out some candy for my husband. He wanted those sweet tart jelly beans, which sounds so good right now. I wanted something too, but I wanted something that wasn't going to harm my braces and something that was soft on my teeth that I wouldn't have to bite into. So I came across these, and these are the Redbird Peppermint Puffs. If you guys remember the little dinner mints, that's kind of like what these are like. My daughter has got in here and opened them up. But yeah, it's just the really big soft peppermints. I mean, they literally, you guys, melt in your mouth. See? I mean, they just fall right apart. All of them. So these are like the only thing as far as candy goes that I can actually enjoy and it doesn't hurt my teeth. And they literally just melt in my mouth. So for any of you out there that have braces and you want some candy, I definitely recommend those. For the last 2 or 3 days, I have been having this like natural sensation to want to clench my teeth and bite down, like chewing. And it's mainly my back teeth, and that didn't start until I started feeling more pressure and tightening in the back teeth, because it's not so much in the front now, it's all back here in the back. I think it's just because of the different filling that's going on in my mouth, kind of like how a baby teeth, you know, I guess when they get teeth and they're cutting new ones, you know, they want to chew in teeth. So that's kind of like, I guess, how I feel, like I'm finding teeth here, and so I'm clenching down. It's not as bad today as it has been the last couple days, so I guess that's a good sign that maybe it will start easing up. My tongue, like right in here, was really sore for a couple days, and I think it's because when I first got my braces on, I was constantly, you know, doing that and rubbing my tongue across the top, so my tongue started to feel kind of like it was burned, like I ate something or drank something really hot and burnt my tongue. That's how it felt for a few days, but obviously I knew I hadn't, so the only thing I could think of was that I had just irritated my tongue by rubbing it across my braces a little bit too much. Last night I noticed that I had a little bit of a lisp going on, and I've never had a lisp before. It was just bright light. It was basically because, for one, two factors come into play. My front teeth were a little more sensitive last night, and so it hurt for me to actually like allow my top teeth to hit my bottom teeth when I would talk. So I was doing a lot of this instead, and also I have noticed that my tongue is hitting my, like right in here when I'm talking, it's hitting a lot quicker than it did before. So that's definitely something new. I did a little bit of research on that, and I read that that's actually quite common, and it will go away, you know, as you know, your mouth and everything starts to adjust to the changes that's going on and taking place. My bite is definitely different, so I know that there's some change going on. I can't tell much as far as, you know, with the naked eye, but I can definitely tell as far as like the feel of everything, because my bite is not the same. Like, everything is clenching differently. My teeth, they're all hitting in different places than they did before. And going back to showing you guys, like, as far as like any physical appearance change goes, I have noticed that this tooth here is a little bit further back than this one. You see that? So I think that tooth is starting to go into its correct position. This one just hasn't yet. But I got this tooth over here that's really overlapping it, and this one over here is as well. Oh, and that's something else too. I did have a little bit bigger of a gap here in the center, and it's not as big as it was. And I've noticed right in here, I'm starting to get a little bit of a gap there, like I can suck in air through there. So yeah, I definitely got a bigger gap there, but it almost seems like my braces are like pulling these teeth forward. I don't know. It's really weird. That pretty much sums up my first week in braces, you guys. And although I've had some good and bad days, it's not been anything that, you know, I can't handle. You know, it all makes up for the smile that you want to have. And I'll be so glad when I go on the 5th to, you know, because that's like 5 weeks from now. So surely there's a little bit more physical change that I'll see between now and then. Getting the bottom ones on, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I am nervous because this is where a lot of crookedness is. So I just know those teeth down there are going to be so sensitive the first few days, just like my top ones were. But I know eventually it's just for a short time. It'll fade, it'll go away, it won't last forever. Although today my teeth feel fine, they're not sore or anything. They don't feel as loose as they once did. I feel like when I go in for them to tighten them, I'm going to feel like a little bit of sensitivity. I don't know, it just seems like the way things are feeling now, that if it's still feeling the same way, then I'm going to feel the sensitivity when they go to tighten. I've had 3 kids. I could do this. But if you're watching this video, it's probably because you have considered getting braces as an adult. You want to know what it's like from another adult. And I was very skeptical about getting braces as an adult because it's mainly kids that we see getting braces nowadays. But there's a lot of times that when we were kids, we couldn't afford braces, or our parents couldn't. And now that we're older and we are at a more stability as far as finances go, or we've got better, you know, dental insurance, you know, that provides better coverage in most cases, unlike mine, I have to pay out of pocket for mine. So if any of you are curious about the cost and everything when you don't have insurance, you can take a glance at my very first video I posted about the treatment plan and the cost and the type of braces that I had received. I'm paying a total of $5,750 for my braces. That is for a total of 24 months. Now, they're not charging me for, like, in advance for all that. I'm only paying as long as I'm in treatment, and they told me that I'm most likely not going to be wearing the braces for 24 months. So I'm only going to pay up to the point when they decide to take them off. I did have a down payment of $898, and like I said, you guys can go back to my first video and watch and listen to everything that I was talking about in that video. But every household is different, so it may not cost you nearly as much as it has for me. Where there's a will, there is a way. We had just decided to save money, put it to the side, you know, that way we've got the money there for me to make my monthly payments. And also we have a flex spending account, so that helps with me making my monthly payments as well. As far as the down payment goes, $898, who has $900 just laying around, you know, like pocket change? What we did was we ended up using my flex card to get $449 of that, and then we ended up getting the other half, $449, off of our tax refund. So it helped get the down payment, and that basically covered the cost of getting my brackets on and the wires. It's progress. It takes time, it takes money, but it's progress, and you will get the smile that you have been wanting. So I will include some pictures before I got my braces on at the end, and I will go ahead and show you guys a close-up of my mouth so that you guys can see, because I forgot to do that last week, and I apologize. I had someone mention it, so I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. Okay, so here's the top. Sorry if it's not focusing. Let's see. There we go. Ah! Okay, so I got 2 silver in the back, and I got all my teeth, you guys, all my wisdom teeth. Oop, I don't know if you guys seen that. When I popped my mouth up, my jaw popped. I have TMJ, so that's another reason why I considered braces, and they had mentioned me possibly having to have my wisdom teeth removed, you know, further into treatment, just to see how everything lines up. That way if things start looking like I don't have room, then they'll take my 4 bicuspids and possibly my wisdom teeth, which I don't know. I'm kind of a big baby when it comes to, like, oh, I don't want you taking the big teeth. Go ahead and just take the little ones, you know. We'll just make room for those, you know. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah. So you can see. And there you have it. In case you guys are wondering, I did get the ceramic braces. They basically feel like metal ones along your teeth. Them working faster and better than the silver traditional braces, I really don't know. I've heard people say that they work less as quick, unless you're like on a speedy treatment. But that just means that you go in and they just tighten your braces a lot sooner than every like 4 to 6, 8 weeks. But I'm going every 6 weeks so far, so there you have it. Anyways, you guys, I will do another update maybe in another week. We'll just see how things go. But yeah, I definitely plan to keep you guys focused with everything that's going on with me as far as treatment goes and how things are progressing in pictures and videos. And I do have a Facebook page, so if you guys want to go head over there and check it out for pictures, I'll include the link to that in the description below this video, along with all my other social media platform links. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.